Happy birthday to me.
Diddy's 54th birthday was a celebration fit for a king. Surrounded by Hollywood's elite, champagne flowing, photos lighting up social media with friends like Naomi Campbell and Janet Jackson by his side. But just 1 year later, he spent his 55th birthday in a prison cell, abandoned by the very people who once hailed him. As his reputation crumbles, his family stands fiercely by him, even as his daughter's latest defense raises eyebrows and questions about what lies behind that glamorous facade. So, is this loyalty or something darker? But before we get into the script, why don't you take a second and subscribe to our channel?
OT, what we doing?
Goddamn.
My outfit look like.
You don't know another nigga that's fit like this. Watch change color when I lift my wrist.
November 4th, 2023. Back then, Diddy was living the high life, celebrating his birthday in London with some of the biggest names in Hollywood. He was surrounded by his A-list friends like Naomi Campbell and Janet Jackson, the kind of celebrities who don't just show up for anyone's party. The photos from that night were all over social media, giving us a glimpse into a world where he seemed to reign supreme. It was glamorous, flashy, and full of life, just like Diddy himself. That birthday bash was a reminder of the influence he held, a power that seemed untouchable. From a distance, it looked like he was at the top of his game.
This is his first birthday behind bars, and his family, his kids, Justin, Quincy, Christian, Chance, Baby Love, and the twins, posted a video of them singing happy birthday to him. Baby Love actually sung happy.
But here we are, just a year later, and things couldn't be more different. November 4th, 2024 rolled around, and this time Diddy wasn't surrounded by friends or even celebrating freedom. He was spending his 55th birthday behind bars. This year, there were no big names and no social media posts from celebrity friends wishing him well. The people who once stood by his side were silent. It was like Hollywood collectively decided to forget him. Naomi Campbell and Janet Jackson, the same people who had partied with him last year, were nowhere to be seen, and both even deleted their previous birthday posts about him. That silence was deafening. It was more than just a lack of birthday wishes, it was a statement. They wanted nothing to do with him now.
Just a few short years ago, Sean Diddy Combs reportedly celebrated his birthday with a celebrity-studded bash that included a 50-foot outdoor bed. Now the only bed he has on his 55th birthday is a prison mattress inside the notorious federal detention.
The difference between these two birthdays tells you everything about Diddy's fall from grace. In one short year, he went from being a celebrated mogul to a man that nobody in his former circle wanted to be associated with. It's as if his whole world turned upside down. A year ago, he was surrounded by love, admiration, and a little bit of envy. People wanted to be in his orbit. Now he's facing isolation, and it's not just the prison walls keeping him separated from the world, it's the cold shoulder from Hollywood itself. And it's not hard to see why. The allegations against Diddy are serious, and even though he was once the life of the party, no one wants to be linked to the scandal that surrounds him now.
So was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what's going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that freaky shit. All of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal.
It's wild to think about how quickly his influence has slipped away. Hollywood is a place where loyalty is fickle, and Diddy is learning this the hard way. One minute, he was a powerful force in music and entertainment, with friends in every high place you could imagine. The next, he's a cautionary tale of how fast things can change when scandal strikes. His reputation, something he spent decades building, is now crumbling, and it seems like there's no one left who wants to save him from it. For Diddy, this shift must be as painful as it is humiliating. He's gone from being someone people clamored to be around to a man most wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. It's like Hollywood has moved on without him, and he's left grappling with a reality he never prepared for. His power, once wielded with ease, is now slipping through his fingers, and he's realizing that even his closest connections can vanish when things go south. He's worked hard to show the world this united, loving family vibe, In every post, event, and family gathering, he's made sure we all see him as a doting father who's got his family's back, no matter what. The whole setup, the big houses, the matching outfits, the birthday tributes, it's all been a perfectly curated picture. He's painted himself as the ultimate family man, even when there were whispers of scandal and controversy surrounding him. And now, as things go downhill, his kids seem determined to keep that image alive.
Happy birthday to Daddy.
I love y'all so much.
We love you too.
Love you, Pops.
I can't wait to see y'all.
Yeah.
Take, for instance, his recent birthday phone call from jail. There was Diddy on the other end of the line, receiving birthday wishes from his kids. They were all singing to him, saying they loved him, with Diddy calling them the best family in the world. On the surface, it looks sweet and heartwarming, like any family rallying around their loved one. But if you look a little closer, you start to wonder if it was all just a little too perfect, like something straight out of a PR playbook.
Puffy was playing with your booty in Miami. You know it was in Miami.
Says things, he doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity.
But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to a degree.
So
Here's the thing, most people saw right through it. The whole call felt forced, almost like they were all reading from a script, trying to show the world that nothing's wrong here. They wanted us to see Diddy as this strong father figure, with his loyal family standing by him, even while he's sitting in a jail cell. But it came off as more awkward than touching, like they were trying way too hard to convince us of something. It didn't feel genuine. It felt like a performance. A desperate attempt to make sure people remember Diddy as the loving dad, not the man facing some pretty dark accusations. And that's where it gets even sadder. For Diddy, who's been on top for so long, it must be a tough pill to swallow, seeing his legacy crumble. He knows his reputation is in serious trouble, and maybe, just maybe, he's hoping that putting on this family man act will help salvage what's left of it. You have to wonder if he's pushing his kids to help him maintain this image, because he doesn't have many friends left to vouch for him. It's almost like his family has become his last line of defense in the court of public opinion. So, is this real, or is it all just a well-choreographed PR move? That's the big question. Diddy's kids, especially his daughter Chance, are still young, and they probably want to believe the best about their dad. To them, he's been the provider, the protector, the father who's always been there for them. But for the rest of us watching, it's hard not to see the cracks in this perfect family illusion. Diddy might think he's giving us a family moment, but instead, it looks like a last-ditch effort from a man whose empire is slipping away. In a statement that stirred up quite a buzz, Diddy's daughter, Chance, didn't hold back in claiming her father's innocence. She was pretty straightforward about it, saying her dad is the victim here, targeted by enemies who supposedly want to take him down. In her eyes, Diddy is a loving father, a good man, and someone who's being unfairly attacked. She even added that she's grown up around him her whole life and never saw anything unusual or troubling in his behavior. To Chance, the Diddy she knows is nothing like the man people are accusing him of being. Now, when you look at it from her perspective, it makes sense. Diddy's always been there for her and her siblings, providing them with a life most people can only dream of. But here's where things start to get complicated. A lot of people think Chance's defense is either shockingly naive or painfully blind. Some are wondering if she's just too young to understand the weight of the accusations against her dad, or if she's been shielded from the truth by growing up in his carefully controlled world. Others believe she might be in denial, clinging to the version of her father she's always known while ignoring the darker stories that have followed him for years. And let's be real, Chance's statement struck a nerve with a lot of people. For some fans and members of the public, her words came across as incredibly tone-deaf. It wasn't just that she was defending her father, it was the way she dismissed any possibility that he could be guilty. As if his power and influence somehow exempt him from being flawed or dangerous. People felt that by painting him as an innocent man under attack, She was almost mocking the experiences of those who say they've been hurt by him. To those critics, Chance's defense seemed to come from a place of privilege, a place where she's been sheltered by wealth and status, and they didn't hold back in calling her out for it. But hey, let's pause for a second so you can quickly subscribe to our channel and don't forget to comment your thoughts so far. Social media exploded with mixed reactions. Some fans sympathized with her, understanding that she was likely hurting and confused, wanting to protect her father. But many others were downright angry, seeing her comments as insensitive and hurtful to potential victims. How can she be so blind? Some people asked. Doesn't she realize there are real people with real stories on the other side of this? Others chalked it up to her being young, perhaps too young to grasp the full scope of her father's reputation and the accusations stacked against him. But then there's also the question of brainwashing. And yes, that's a strong word, but it keeps coming up in these conversations. People have pointed out that Chance, like her siblings, has grown up inside Diddy's world, where he controls the narrative, the image, and the lifestyle. If all she's ever seen is the good side of her dad, it's understandable that she'd struggle to accept a different version of him. Diddy's been a powerful figure in her life, likely shielding her from the stories and allegations that others have been whispering about for years. So, is she in denial, or has she just been taught to look the other way? No matter how you look at it, Chance's statement has thrown fuel on an already blazing fire. Her loyalty to her dad is clear, but so is her lack of awareness, or perhaps her refusal to acknowledge the more troubling side of his legacy. For the public, her words were a reminder of the complex web of loyalty, denial, and privilege that often comes with being part of a powerful family. As one person put it, it's like she's living in a bubble. And maybe that's true. In trying to defend her dad, Chance has only highlighted the vast divide between her reality and that of those who claim they were hurt by him.
Diddy's sons, getting into an altercation with Ray J.
Nobody's gonna press Ray J.
Okay.
It's not gonna happen. I mean, anyone can come and try to press Ray, but it's not gonna happen. So that was an unfortunate incident, and it was a great party that got ruined by little kids trying to fight a big boy.
The drama surrounding Diddy isn't just limited to the accusations against him, it's also unfolding in how fiercely his family is fighting to defend him. Recently, his sons went head-to-head with Ray J in a public showdown that almost turned physical. Ray J, who's known for being outspoken, didn't hold back when he took jabs at Diddy's past. He threw around some cutting remarks that hinted at darker rumors, and that didn't sit well with Diddy's sons. In an instant, the Combs boys, Quincy, Christian, and Justin, were ready to defend their dad, going after Ray J in what quickly became a tense scene. Words were exchanged, emotions ran high, and it was clear that Diddy's sons were willing to go to any lengths to protect their father's reputation. Their actions have sparked a lot of talk, especially about the lengths they seem willing to go to defend Diddy. This wasn't just a moment of standing up for family, it felt like something deeper, more intense, almost as if they were on a mission to protect their father's legacy at any cost. To those watching, their loyalty came across as unwavering, bordering on a loyalty at any cost mentality that some have even described as cult-like. It's as if Diddy's sons are so tightly bound to his image that they're ready to fight anyone who dares to challenge it. Whether they believe in his innocence or simply feel duty-bound to stand by him, they're treating any attack on him as an attack on themselves.
To really get to this level, so out of nowhere, Chris Brown hops out the car like a freaking leprechaun out of the magically delicious sky, and honestly, he started breaking it up. I tried to talk to Quincy, Christian, get their stance on it and let them know that this wasn't
The situation only got more intense when Chris Brown, along with a few other celebrities, was drawn into the scene. Brown, who was nearby, stepped in to try and calm things down, pulling everyone back before things got completely out of control. Security eventually had to intervene, and it wasn't long before they managed to defuse the situation. But the message was clear. Diddy's sons were in full defense mode, not afraid to get confrontational to uphold their dad's honor. This entire altercation underscored the volatility surrounding Diddy's reputation right now. He's not only battling public opinion, but also dragging those closest to him into the fray. What stands out is the depth of loyalty his sons displayed in that moment. It's not just about defending their father's name, it's about defending everything he represents to them. Diddy has long been a powerful figure in their lives, a role model who taught them about success, influence, and the high life. But their dedication seems to go beyond normal family loyalty. It feels almost programmed, as if they're compelled to see him as a hero no matter what. This kind of loyalty might be admirable to some, but it also raises questions. Are they standing by him out of love, or have they been so deeply conditioned by his world of fame and wealth that they can't see him in any other light? Diddy's success story has long been one of glamour, fame, and fortune, but his legacy is weighed down by a history of disturbing allegations that have lingered over the years. There are tales of troubling power dynamics, whispers of encounters with younger individuals, and stories of people left scarred after crossing paths with him. This isn't just about a few rumors here and there. It's an entire legacy of scandal that Diddy has managed to keep under wraps for a long time, likely thanks to his influence and the fear he instilled in those around him. His position in the entertainment industry shielded him for years, making these dark details seem like little more than shadows cast by his larger-than-life persona. But as the years pass, those shadows are growing harder to ignore.
A woman gonna keep her phone, you know, she got a lot of different purses, but everybody always grab their phone. Why come right till today, right now, nobody knows what Kim Porter's phone is?
Through our PIs right now, we do have some evidence that Kim Porter may have been poisoned.
One of the most talked about sources of allegations comes from Kim Porter's supposed diary entries, which have haunted Diddy's reputation since they surfaced. Kim Porter, the mother of 3 of his children, reportedly kept a journal that allegedly holds shocking insights into Diddy's darker side. Though the diary has never been publicly verified, the claims associated with it paint a chilling picture. Porter's entries reportedly contain stories of manipulation, control, and emotional turmoil, details that stand in stark contrast to the image Diddy's family has always projected. For some, these claims were a revelation. For others, they merely confirmed suspicions they'd held about Diddy for years. Whatever the case, the stories from Porter's diaries have fueled a narrative of a man who's deeply different from the fun-loving, smooth-talking mogul he projects to the public. What's particularly striking is the contrast between Diddy's family's fierce loyalty and the harsh reality faced by those outside his close circle. His kids, especially, seem bound to him in a way that feels both loyal and controlled. They've painted him as a loving, caring father, a man who'd do anything for them. But it's a portrayal that feels worlds apart from the stories told by those who claim to have suffered under his influence. For years, Diddy's wealth and power have provided a protective bubble, shielding his family from the harsher aspects of his life and allowing them to maintain an image of him as an almost heroic figure. But outside those mansion walls, people with their own painful stories are left grappling with the reality of who Diddy might actually be. The silence from his family only makes things more difficult for these alleged victims. It's as though every show of loyalty, every defense of his character, is another reminder of the vast gap between the protected and those left unprotected. His children may genuinely see him as a kind, supportive dad, but that perception stands in stark contrast to the accounts from those who encountered a different side of him, people who don't have the privilege of wealth or family loyalty to soften the memories. This dichotomy has only intensified as more stories emerge, painting a picture of Diddy as a man who's kept his secrets close and his family closer, perhaps to preserve an image that's slowly slipping away. The public reaction to Diddy's situation has been intense, and not everyone is buying into the family's unwavering support. Many fans are voicing serious backlash, accusing his family of blind loyalty, a term that keeps popping up in social media conversations. To a lot of people, the image of his children standing firmly by his side feels like a deliberate ignorance of the gravity of the accusations against him. Critics argue that it's one thing to support a loved one, but another thing entirely to ignore or excuse behaviors that hurt others. This loyalty, however heartfelt, has struck a nerve, making people question if his family is truly clueless about his alleged misdeeds or if they're choosing to look the other way. And it's not just his family facing criticism. Hollywood itself isn't escaping the scrutiny. Fans and followers have had enough of what they see as the industry's hypocrisy. There's a common frustration with how quickly Hollywood insiders cut ties with Diddy only when the allegations became public and started affecting reputations. People are pointing out how many of these friends likely knew about Diddy's questionable behavior all along, but stayed silent until it was safe to walk away. It feels like a pattern. Hollywood often turns a blind eye to the actions of powerful people until their secrets become too big to ignore. This selective loyalty makes the industry look more like a game of self-preservation than genuine friendship, and the public isn't afraid to call it out. Social media has been buzzing with reactions. Twitter and Instagram are filled with comments from fans who feel Diddy's family is out of touch with the weight of his alleged actions. Some users have posted that they're shocked by the family's naive defense, while others argue that it's more than naivety, it's a refusal to face reality. A popular sentiment that's circulating goes something like, how can they defend someone who's left a trail of hurt behind him? These comments reflect a growing frustration with celebrities who seem insulated from the consequences that regular people face. There's a broader conversation happening too about accountability in celebrity culture. Diddy's situation is shedding light on the lengths people will go to protect their own, even when it comes at the cost of ignoring others' pain. While some people still sympathize with Diddy's family, recognizing the difficulty of reconciling their father's public image with his private life, most seem skeptical. They see the family's loyalty as misplaced, even dangerous, and are calling out the damaging effects of staying silent in the face of alleged wrongdoing. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, remember to check out this next video as well.